Hey y'all, it's Ashley. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. It feels so strange doing that intro because it's been so long, but I'm back. Maybe some of you remember who I am, and maybe you're just meeting me for the first time. And if you are, I'm so glad that you're here. Many moons ago, I used to make booktube videos, and one day I got a little bit shy and took everything off the internet. But I'm back and I'm really excited to be back. A lot of things have changed since we last spoke. The last time I uploaded a video, I was living in Houston. I'm now in Austin, Texas, and I've been here just a tidbit over a year. And I love it here. That move was really good for me. I'm really glad that I took the risk. Definitely, if you do know me, you don't know this background, so that's fun. I wasn't really too sure where to start, but I really missed being here, so I figured the booktube newbie was a good place to begin if I am just gonna start over. I guess first I can get into a little bit why I just went MIA from the internet. So when I was living in Houston, that time period was after COVID, after college, and I felt like even though booktube was a safe space for me to be creative and talk to people about books I like and self-discover, there was some perfectionism things that I needed to work through, and I'm still working through, and honestly will be working through for the rest of my life. I felt like even though I had a really fun time making videos, I definitely struggled with being vulnerable online, as you should. Like, I feel like there's some things you should hold back a little bit just for safety and just to protect yourself in general. At that time I was really struggling to open up. I wanted to show more of my life, but like also there wasn't a whole lot going on at that time, so YouTube was kind of a distraction from that. I feel like anxiety and perfectionism were really like holding me back from doing what I wanted to do and like posting what I wanted to post. And I was very much real and raw in myself. I was vulnerable and I did share a lot of my life, but I definitely felt like I was holding my personality back. That kind of made it harder to like form real connections, which is why I started YouTube in the first place. So I felt like now would be a good time to join the community again. It would also be good for me to create again and to work on that. Part of it is kind of like facing your fears and being present and being vulnerable and showing yourself. Not everybody is gonna be here for that, and that's okay. If you're new, let me know, but if you did see any of my videos in the past, like I'm curious who stuck around. So with that being said, let's get into the booktube newbie tag. The first question is, why did you start this channel? So I started this channel because at the time, not a lot of my friends in real life read. I definitely have a lot more friends that read now that I live in Austin, but I'm kind of all over the place with my reading. Like, I read every genre, all types of books, and I feel like most people stick to one or two genres, which is totally fine. Like, nothing's wrong with that. But it's hard for me to find people to have conversations with about books that I like or that I'm reading. I like to know what other people think and what they're feeling about books they're reading or like books I've read. So I'm here to form connections with people that like to read just like me. If you want to follow me on Goodreads or like Instagram or any of that, I'll have it all linked down in the description below. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to booktube? I don't like this question. I feel like it's an interview question. I feel like for anybody on booktube, the biggest thing that you're gonna bring is yourself and like your personality. So I'm excited to share more of like my life with you guys too. I think in the past that was something that I wanted to do more of, and I did do when I made videos in college, but after that I moved to Houston and I was very like away from majority of my friends that like actually live down in Houston, and I was very isolated. So I'm hoping now that I'm in Austin, I'll be able to bring you guys along more often. What are you most excited for about this new channel? I'm excited to make friends and to document the books I'm reading and my thoughts on them. I feel like while I'm reading a book, I have all these thoughts and opinions, and then when I sit down to review it, I've already kind of forgot. So I feel like reading vlogs will help me remember like how I felt about a book. And yeah, I'm also just really excited to make friends. Why do you love reading? I love reading because I'm kind of nosy boots. I love reading about different characters from different walks of life. It is definitely a form of escapism for me too, but also I feel like you can learn so much from a book, even a fiction book, and I love that. I'm an accountant, so I work with numbers all day long, and I need something to open up that creative side of my mind. So I'm not like good at drawing or painting, like I'm not very artsy in that way, but I feel like books and also editing is like a fun way for me to express myself and be creative. What book or series got you into reading? And then there's a question down here that I feel like goes with it. When did you start reading? So I've always been a reader. I was making my mom read books to me every night before I even knew how to read. And even at that age, like I remember thinking, maybe not in these words, of course, but like this is how people are communicating. I would see people write notes around the house, and I kind of associated words with that, and it's like I wanted to be part of that. There's of course lots of books that I can remember when I was super young that I read, but I remember when I was in 5th grade in middle school, I went to the library like during class and I didn't know what to read, and then the librarian recommended Bridge to Terabithia. That book changed my life. I loved Bridge to Terabithia, and I still do. So even though I was reading well before that, I do think that book deserves to be mentioned as like the book that got me into reading. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I would ask them what their favorite books are, what are like the books that they generically recommend to people, what would they specifically recommend for me. Probably a lot of editing questions and stuff too, because I like it, but it's not something I'm like really good at. So I think like any advice would definitely be welcome. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I know the answer to this because I've done it before. I think the hardest part is like consistency. I love the actual like making of videos, and I like communicating with people afterwards in the comments or like becoming friends online. That's like super special to me. It's a different kind of relationship as someone that like grew up online. I feel like my internet friends I hold very near and dear to my heart. But those are all the fun parts. I feel like the hardest part is the editing. Like I don't super love going through footage and editing myself and like making a thumbnail and that kind of thing. Like I'm just not super into hearing myself talk over and over again. But I also feel like that's probably a healthy thing, and the more I do it, maybe I'll just get over it. I think another thing is I just don't know what people want to see. I definitely still watch booktube. I just don't have like as much free time to watch as many booktubers as like I did in the past. So I'm not sure what's popular because I just kind of like watch what I want to watch. So let me know if there's like anything specific that you want to see. Where do you read? Mostly my couch, also in bed. I think taking time to unwind at night, reading like definitely helps me do that. But I'm trying to venture out and visit more coffee shops and stuff like that and read. Also, I'm part of a book club that meets at a brewery, and we just sit and read in silence, and that's been fun. I feel like I get distracted if there's music happening in the background or anything, so usually I read at home, but I'll read anywhere, honestly. What kind of books do you like to read? Genuinely, I read everything. Like I literally read everything. definitely a big mood reader, and I think switching it up is part of why reading's so fun for me and why I read so many books, because I never really have to take a break from it. It's always something different. I feel like that was a good little warm up. I'm super excited to be back, and I hope you guys stick around. If you want to, go ahead and give me a follow. That way you can see next time I post. I'd love to be friends, but thank you for being here. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye.